Okay. My name is Maghan Sayger. I attend college at ASU and this is my persuasive speech. I'm doing country living versus city living, and I'm going to try to persuade everybody to country living. I've lived in the country for 20 years and born and raised in the country, and I've loved it ever since. The town is obviously smaller than the city. You know everybody, and everybody knows you. If there's anything ever like a death or a marriage, a baby, anything, the community always gets together and congratulates you or brings you food. Everybody in the community is more like family and friends. You know everybody, and everybody knows you. In the city, you don't have that pleasure. You may not even know who your neighbor is. You never know who is living next door. It could be somebody who was in jail last week. You never know. There's a lot more crimes in the city than there is in the country. And the cost of living is also a lot higher in the city than in the country. A lot of people think that living in the country is boring and you can't find anything to do. But if you're in the country long enough, then you know that there's plenty of stuff that you can do. You can go hunting. There's all kinds of hunting. There's rabbits, squirrels, deer, anything. You can go fishing. A lot of people love to ride four-wheelers in the mud, mostly boys. But in the city, you have to deal with more things like pollution and buses and traffic. It seems like every time you go to a city, there's always some kind of traffic, no matter what time of the day it is. There's always serious traffic, and it takes you forever to get wherever you need to go. And in the country, you can just take a little back road and be right where you need to be in just a couple of minutes. That's another thing about the country. You also can have a garden. That's a good thing about being in the country. In your backyard, you can just have a little garden with all kinds of stuff. But in the city, most of the time, you're so close to your neighbors that you don't even hardly have a backyard. You don't get to have pets and those kinds of things because your neighbors are always so packed in. The houses are always so packed in close to each other that it's hard to even have anything like that. And in the country, if you have a lot of land, then you can have cows and goats, chickens, horses, just whatever you want to have. The city, you obviously can't have cows and goats and stuff. Also, another good thing about schools or about the country is that the schools are a lot smaller. So your friends you all know each other. And the teachers, you get more one-on-one time with teachers. I went to a school and I graduated with 35 other people. So, I knew everybody in my class. And the teachers have time to work with you after school and stuff like that. But in the city, they're likely to have over 100 kids in one class. And teachers just don't have the time for one-on-one stuff with you to explain and tutor and go through stuff with you like they do in the country. The city, like I said, it has a lot more crimes than in the country. It has jails and stuff. People could break loose. But in the country, you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff near as much as you do in the city. Also, with the country, you have a lot more privacy than you do in the cities because because it's also close. In the country, you have plenty of wide open space to just do whatever you want to do. You don't have to worry about your neighbor. So I hope that I have persuaded y'all that country living is better than city living.
Cut it. You've got 4 minutes.